Well, hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday on this summer solstice, the first day of summer. Woo! The longest day of the year, right? Where we can really enjoy the full, in this hemisphere anyway, the full rotation of us of our planet. So, hey, welcome. For you guys that are old timers, been here a while, have visited here before, you know what's going on. But for you guys that are brand new, let me tell you how this fun little episode works. This is a technical support call and it's chat based. So come on in, put your questions in the chat, and we will do our very best to unpack them. I've got Jake Barron from Operations. Hi, Jake.
You can, hello everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. And then we've got Michael today in the background with the magic fingers from customer service, directly from our customer service department, which is so great. I mean, I love having representatives in the background that can also help to solve mysteries. So what we do here is we solve the technical mysteries that you may be experiencing, meaning things around the app, things around the hardware, things around Healy itself. Sometimes we get into a deep dive around explanations of how things work, which sometimes that's kind of fun. But what we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, or prevent any disease. Of course, we're not going to be able to give you advice as to what program to use for what issue you're working on. Although we might like to, we just can't do that. We have some great software that does that for you. So with that, jump on in, put your questions in the chat, and let's get this party started. How about that? Yeah. Okay. And of course, if you guys don't put anything in there, we'll just start talking about stuff. We'll just come up with something to talk about. All right. We got anything yet, guys?
I don't see anything yet. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, it's the start of the summer solstice, and for us here at Healy means the next of the phase of the natural cycle. So I know a lot of people maybe did that back in May, starting on May 5th, and then they got a reminder today saying, hey, by the way, it's time to get ready to go here. It's time to start that next cycle. So that was kind of a cool thing today as well.
I love that. And it's a great reminder, because there are these natural cycles. Of course, they're the name natural cycle. They're natural cycles that the human body is within. Based on what? Well, the earth that we live on, the rotation of the planets. There's some natural interactions that the body has. And so taking advantage of that cycle, Healy came up with an amazing program, right? With Nuno Nina and Marcus, they came up with this amazing program that helps us to work with organs and systems in our body and align it with certain timings of this circadian rhythm. Do you want to talk about any of that, Jake?
I wasn't going to go into detail, but yeah, it's kind of a reminder of where we're at here, because I know some people kind of messed up the first cycle by skipping ahead or redoing it, and they got too far and they had to delete again. So this was kind of today was a fresh start for a lot of people. So
it's good. It's good to get that fresh start and give it another test drive. I mean, you really can't do it wrong. So it's just a matter of, whoops, I skipped that one, or I missed my start date, whatever. There's just a lot of learning to go on. So that's a lot of fun, I think.
Yep.
We don't have any questions here. Well, Victoria said something here. She said you'd love to know more about the natural cycle programs. Okay. So the cool thing about the natural cycle system, the way it works is it starts at a certain time based on your demographic. Right now, the program lives in the HealAdvisor app. Okay, so that's where it's at. And you would set your demographic, and then it would start a timer for you. And what comes up as the timer? It comes up with certain programs, as well as advice like drinking water, right? There's some very important things around drinking water. Do you want to pull it up, Jake, and play with it a little bit, or what? I can maybe pull it up.
Yeah, if you want to pull that up, I was going to pull up some details that are available in the Healy app manual, which kind of have a little bit of a more deeper explanation than what you might find just by going straight to the HealAdvisor app. So maybe we can You can do one, I can do the other, but let me see
Okay.
here.
Let me see. I'm going to get my phone on board here.
Okay.
And we'll take a peek at it. All right. It's kind of fun. Let's see here. We'll share the screen. All right. Okay, so here's my screen. And so if you guys aren't familiar, let me get this out of the way. There we go. So here's the apps. These are the Healy apps. If some of you guys are very familiar with the pink dot and the blue dot, so shown on the screen with the pink dot and the blue dot, but there's also a Healy Watch app for the whole watch application. But here's the one where we're going to talk about here, which is the HealAdvisor app, the one with the wavy lines. And I'm going to go ahead and open that. And on the HealAdvisor app is where the natural cycle lives. You'll come up with a disclaimer here, notice here, and then it's going to actually sync up my account with my content. And if you see here, we can scroll down to the natural cycle right there. And you see it's kind of lit up. In other words, it's full color. And you can see the animal one is not. Here's a good contrast to kind of see. I don't have the animal subscription. I really haven't had a use for it, but if I had, it would be just as brilliantly colored as the rest. You see how it's different. Ones that are subscriptions that are active on your account are highlighted. The ones that are not are dim. All right. So you see here, here's the natural cycle. If I click on it, here's what it's telling me to do, right? It tells me when to start, what to do by the time. And then the microcurrent programs that it's suggesting for me, at the bottom there, it says liver meridians. So I would go over to the pink dot and I would activate them, or I could do it right here from the app, right? So if I was to click on liver meridian, it would take me right over. It says, oh, guess what? You're already running a program, but okay, I would have to stop that and go over.
Yeah.
You see how that works? It would take me directly over there. All right. You want to pull up anything there, Jake, on the?
Yeah, let me just show here real
Okay.
quick. I'll share if you want to stop that. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Let me pull this up.
It's you know, the cool thing about the programs and this whole system is you can't break it. So you just get in there, get to play.
Yeah. So as far as more information, if you go to your back office, so my.healy.world, go to the tools and then download section. From there, you have all kinds of resources. There is a short flyer on natural cycle, which of course has a little bit of the details in there that you can download. But if you pull up the manual Healy app, which is the app, or sorry, the manual for the Healy pink dot app, pull that up, and then you'll see here, if you go to the, this is where it is, but if you go back to the top, to show what it looks like from the table of contents, you'll see here, if you haven't looked at this manual, it has much more details than you might expect or been able to find anywhere else on these particular programs. You'll see here, natural cycle, page 37. So if you scroll all the way down to page 37, which is where I was when this first started here, you'll see there's details, much more details on what the natural cycle is, the purpose behind it, the reason that these programs were all created, and then it has instructions on how to use it as well. Of course, the app that Ken just showed in the HealAdvisor module guides you through it, but this is kind of the more details, and it shows you essentially everything at once. So it tells you each of the different Meridian programs here. You know, notice that every single one of them is the same duration, 18 minutes. And then depending on what time of the day it is when you're supposed to start the natural cycle, it depends on which of these Meridians programs are going to actually run. And then there's also even more detail for each of the Meridians here as far as the background on it and, you know, when they're active and that kind of thing. So it's really great information. I think most people don't ever read through this app manual here. So it is really essential if you're looking for more information on this, to kind of go through that. And also, while I have this the app manual open, last week on What's Up Wednesday, Susan Proctor did an excellent training on the power of 3, and we got a lot of questions, of course, about more details on that. And within the Healy app manual here, this is on page 34, right above the natural cycle. There's a lot more details on each of the programs within the Power of Three. So if you were, on What's Up Wednesday or saw the recording and want to find out more information, more than what Susan Proctor kind of went over there, we have all this information available here as well for each of the programs, each of the different sections. And then there's also some of the study results too. So which is great to have here in that app manual. So yeah, if you haven't read through this app manual recently, since we've added some of these new programs, Power of Three, Natural Cycle, definitely it's worth spending a little bit of time here and kind of learning a bit more behind, or the reason behind some of these programs here.
I always recommend going to Healy school for about an hour a day because that's really so beneficial. And these are the resources right here. You could spend easily an hour, kind of investigating some of these programs in the manual.
And Victoria had a question here about natural cycle as well. Just want to know, so one manually switches on the program rather than it does it automatically. So yeah, it'll give you a reminder that it's time to run that specific program, but you have to actually, turn on your Healy. You're going to want to have that on before you click to open the program, because it's going to open up the Pink Dot app. And then from there, it will go to that program page where you need to start, next, and then load the program and then go from there.
So let me walk you through it real quick, Victoria, on what do you do? I mean, what would be step one, right? So step one would be to go to your Advisor app. Okay, go to the app and log in, because you're going to be able to create some settings as to what edition Healy you've got. So then the advisor is going to be able to know more in terms of recommendations when it comes to advising you what programs to run when you're asking it to tell you, or when you're giving it a certain condition. So that's kind of step one. Get in there, set yourself up on the Advisor app. If you've got the Natural Cycle subscription, great. So you go to the Natural Cycle program and you open it. All right. Within there, it's going to ask you your demographic, which, that's pretty simple wherever you live. And it's going to give you a schedule. Okay. Based on that schedule, you just kind of follow along. The line item by line item by line item is going to be given to you by time, the time of day in which you should participate in it, whether it's drinking water, running, say, the liver meridian, like you saw earlier, or the stabilization daily protocol. So you just click on it. It's a line item. So you just click on it, say, okay, I did that. Click on the next and the next. Now, these meridians, as Jake was mentioning, there's lots of meridians within the body that activate based on the circadian rhythm, the time of day. Okay. A lot of these are at night. So there's things you may need to run at night, and you can set an alarm clock, get up and do it, or you can run it earlier. It's just kind of try to stick with that schedule, see how it fits you. But that's going to be the space in which you do it, is in the HealAdvisor app under the Natural Cycle program. From that program, one of the questions specifically there was, do I need to start the program manually, or will it do it automatically? It's not really automatically. In other words, in the HealAdvisor, you can set up notifications. Okay. In there's a way you set up notifications, just like in any app, you can set notifications. It'll tell you when you have a text on your phone. It'll tell you when you have an email, all that kind of stuff, right? This will do the same thing. And you can tell it when to tell you, when to give you notifications. You can set that all up in the app. Okay. So your Natural Cycle program is no different. It'll tell you based on the time what to do. When it does advise you to do so, you can click on it, and then it will automatically open the Pink Dot app. But what have I said many, many times that's necessary prior to opening any of the Healy apps? You got to have the Healy turned on. So number one, turn the Healy on. Number two, click on the activate the program or whatever process it's asking you to do. And that way it will link properly, and then you'll be able to run the program. So So those are some of the basics. Hopefully that helps you guys to get started. All right. Okay, so Toby asked a question about some cables. I would assume that you plug in or unplug the cables from the Healy device less often. It would be better for the cable ports. So while cables are left plugged in on the blue dot scans, do they work, or does it make any difference? So I like your theory. I like that theory, because the less often that you're actually doing some mechanical function, then the mechanics wear out less. Yes, that's true. Leaving the cables plugged in are not going to do anything adversely to running scans or anything with the blue dot. All right, it won't do anything adversely. So you could leave them plugged in. You don't need to unplug them. Some people actually keep the coil plugged in as well during that. There's no evidence that says that keeping the coil plugged in while running the blue dot scans or any of the frequencies that it's going to hinder the progress. There's no evidence of that. In the hardware, in the Healy hardware itself, inside in the back side of it is where the quantum sensor is. Okay. It's essentially, there's a noise generator. It's a frequency generator that's sending frequencies into the field, into the proximity of the device. Okay. In the field that goes everywhere. It's omnidirectional. If the coil is plugged into that space, then those frequencies are going to naturally have to go through the coil of wire, right? And there's a potential for induction of current flow. So I personally do not have it plugged in when I run the blue dot. I personally do not, just to give it free reign, I guess you might say. But the wires really no interference at all. Okay. I know sometimes what we talk about stimulates more questions, doesn't it? And thank you. Michael says kind of the same thing.
I mean, those cables are durable. I've had my original set for about 1.5 years now, and I unplug them and plug them in multiple times a day. So I've never had a single issue. But
yeah, and I'm very active. So I wear this stuff working out in the yard. I mean, this is on me all the time. I'm catching these. I'm snagging them on stuff sometimes. I have ripped an end off before. I'll admit it. I've been pretty harsh on stuff and tore one up. But it sure as heck didn't hurt the Healy hardware. It was just the cable. It is a wear item. Just like anything else, it does take some wear and tear. But I don't know, anybody else out there is rough on their stuff as me. I don't know. I'm kind of rough on my stuff. Maybe Beth, you're out there, right? Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Anybody? Anything you guys want to talk about? Expand upon? What's a burning question that you've had? Come on. Put it up there, Jim.
I just want to make a statement. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've been using those cables, here for 2 years. I have never had a single problem with them. I use a little electro gel, like they use when they're looking for your baby in your belly. But when I put them on, they always work perfectly for me. Just
Right on.
saying.
I love it. I love the kudos. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I love those.
So there is a question here, actually, a kind of a how-to thing. I love this question here. It would be great to hear some tips on how getting the cables caught, how not to get the cables caught. So here's what I do. As you notice, here, I'll show you. I have my Healy on a necklace. I have the wires going down my shirt and they're coming out the sleeve of my arm. You see that? So it's essentially my upper torso, and the wires are fairly, compact or preserved. The only place that really is between the sleeve and the wristband. Now, when I'm out doing some seriously crazy stuff, I wear this in my kayak. Yeah, don't go swimming with it. If I dump myself into the water, I'm going to be in trouble. But the point is still, I'm out there getting pretty wild. And so I have these thin sleeves. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them. They're actually kind of like they're a breathable, not nylon, but they're breathable, like a sleeve that kind of fits a little tight on the body. And they come in all kinds of styles. I would say that they kind of look like a fake full sleeve tattoo, maybe. I don't know. But I've got these sleeves that work so well when I'm out there being crazy, and they don't make me hot. But they are available out there. You can just buy them at, different, I don't know where I find them at like, they always have them at costume stores or something like that, but they are very useful in keeping the wires completely safe from getting caught on anything. So, of course, a long sleeve shirt, then you run them under the sleeves. There's nothing, but we're coming into summer. Like I said, this is the summer solstice starting today. It's a little warm in some places. Okay. All right. Somebody's asking, let's see, Robbie says, can you demonstrate how to put the Healy in the demo mode? Sure. You guys want to see how to do that? There's actually a recording on that, by the way. Okay, let's show you. Let me show you how to do it. Let me pull my Healy up again on the call, and we'll do it real quick. Okay. I actually have a recording that I did to demonstrate that on my YouTube page. It's a channel called I Create Me. It's all one word, just I Create Me on YouTube. You can go take a look at it. I put stuff there. But it's, about 8 minutes, maybe. We can do it right here. We'll have a recording. Okay, here it comes. All right. So let's, here's our apps. Let's go to the HealAdvisor, the blue dot. You go to Advisor, and when it opens up, we click on next. So if you've already logged in, this is what you're going to see. It's going to come up and have your programs available. Click on the little gear at the bottom right. Okay, that's your settings tab. Go to cloud settings. See the second one down. Tap on that. And at the top, click on log out. As soon as you log out, you click the next button. You say, I have a Healy. And here's where it starts. You see that? You can either log in or start a demo. If I tap on start a demo, which I'll do right now. Here we go. See that? It's going to sync changes. I click on sync changes. Now what it's doing is it's logging me in. It's logging my HealAdvisor Analyse app in as a just a blank person, right? Somewhat, it's not really attached to your account, but you see now at the bottom of the screen, instead of that gear at the bottom far right, it says demo. So I can use the system just all I want. It's just that now none of the scans, lists, or clients that I put in will be added to my cloud account. They'll just be on the app. They don't go really anywhere. So when I log back out of demo mode, they're all erased. This is a great thing to have when you loan your device out, or you just want it to be anonymous, say from maybe another device you have. This is a great mode to use. Like for instance, especially if practitioners are using this system with many, many people. Now, obviously, sometimes you get repeat clients, so you'll want to keep content available. Maybe this wouldn't be the best scenario for that. But still, you see how that works? Pretty easy. And we can still do all the analysis that come with my account. Okay. Any questions on that? No? Okay. All right. Yeah, I know that also there were on Healy for Beginners and Beyond. Wasn't there an episode in which that demo mode was shown, or?
Yeah, I put the link into the chat for that particular episode. So we're
Perfect. Okay.
should be gone. Yeah, I mean, demo mode's a great feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Michael, thank you. You put in 10 pairs of cooling sun sleeves, UV protection, arm sleeve. Look at that. There you go. And these are great for putting over your arms and holding those wires safe. And you can do all kinds of stuff. What I haven't done, which I will one of these days, is take it into my dojo and actually wear the Healy while in a full contact sparring match. We'll see how durable it is. No. Okay. Where's the recording of the demo mode? So there you go. Jake put that YouTube thing in there. Is that what that is, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. So Kathy asked, can I ask if there's a tip or two for a few known program suggestions for a family going through some viral issues at this time? So in that manual, Jake was just showing you the Power of 3. So take a look at that Power of 3. There's a program on there that might resonate with you. Right?
Yeah, I would do a search through that, and then maybe revisit one of our last week's What's Up Wednesday, where we discussed Power of 3. Yep. Or use the HealAdvisor search too. So
yeah, Kathy. So if you're not familiar with the HealAdvisor search, so everybody who got a Healy after July 7th or something, that comes with your account, right? So the HealAdvisor search is one that is that's in the it's your way of putting in a condition, an issue, a problem, whatever it is, and it will give you a program to run for it. Okay, so that's a pretty cool thing. All right. Wow, we might get off early tonight, Jake. I'm okay with that.
I don't know. It could be a busy second half. So.
That's right. Here we go. Okay, we're into the second quarter.
That's right. Now there was a question about, does it matter which device you use for demo mode? So you can use demo mode, any Healy resonance device you have, you can put into demo mode. So doesn't matter if it's professional or what, or how old it is, as long as it has access to the Analyse app, you can put that in the demo mode.
Yep. Love it. Yeah, and it's going to have whatever your whatever on your account is. Well, actually, does it give you the coaching module? Unless you have it on your account, right? Well, all of it just should have the. Well, I don't know. Honestly, tell me.
What was that? If it has,
when you go to demo mode, you've got the resonance scan and the aura scan.
Oh yeah.
But the coaching module, is that also in demo mode?
Yeah, the demo, it's whatever you have on your account. So
what you have on your account, right?
Yeah. The demo mode doesn't sort of limit it to a specific whatever. It just doesn't save that data to your cloud. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have all those apps, so it gives it to me, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, what else we got? Not a lot of questions there. Let's see, Robbie says, so I can let someone use their phone and download the apps and set it in a demo mode. Yeah, so this is kind of the cool thing about the demo mode. So you can have someone else load the apps on their phone, and then you loan them your Healy, and it will log in it will use that Healy to activate the programs on their smart device, on the apps that's on their smart devices. It's really cool. So you don't have to loan your phone out, right? You just loan your Healy out. This is what a lot of folks are doing. When you've got multiple Healys, this is the advantage to having multiple Healys. is just keep one for yourself. Don't let yours go. And then have another one as a demo, and a loaner, I guess you might say. Okay. Somebody's asking me, how's my workouts going? Well, so yeah, there's some experiments I'm doing in terms of being diligent in terms of the energy into the body, the mindset in terms of meditation, and then how much time I actually spend lifting weight. It's like, just look at that ratio, and what the body's doing is kind of pretty fun. I mean, we've come into beliefs that we have to spend X amount of time in a gym and do X amount of work and have X amount of result. But that was Newtonian principle, cause and effect. Now in quantum law, we're causing an effect. It's a different equation. I'll be getting more information on that as we start doing more research. So, all right. Well, Izzy just came in. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, better late than never. What's your question here? So she submitted a support ticket for the blue dot. I've been having issues with it stopping or on anything over about 2 hours. Yeah. And then I have that blue screen. So that's, there's an update coming. Jake, do you have any updates on the update?
I don't have an update on that update, but in the meantime, I was going to say, typically, after you've run a long program, a long vibration, so essentially anything, I think the guideline is anything over than 27 minutes or something like that, is to fully close out of the app each time before you run the next one. That's been a kind of a little bit of a workaround to help with that blue screen issue. And I know some people have also had success just doing a hard reset as well to help with that. So obviously you don't want to have to do a hard reset every single time you use the app, but I would try maybe if you're running vibrating a long program, closing it out fully before you do another one right after that, to see if that helps with the issue until an update is available.
Okay, so has the issue with the Pink Dot app where it goes straight to menu after start. I'm assuming, has that been rectified? I actually I had that a couple of times, but the restart typically just goes beyond it.
Yeah, that one still, there isn't an update available yet for that particular issue that some people are experiencing, but typically for that, if you're not able to hard close the app and to go back in and then it's repeating the same issue, at least it's not a permanent solution, but deleting the app and reinstalling the Pink Dot app will typically work for a period of time as well after that. And if you don't want to delete the app, putting your phone into airplane mode or disconnecting from Wi-Fi and cellular, and then connecting to your Pink Dot app, loading the program, and then once it's loaded, you can connect to the internet again once it's going from there. So those two are sort of options for that particular issue, but a permanent fix for that isn't quite available yet.
Yeah, remember once you've loaded, so if you're a brand new person, just put the apps on your phone. Once you've done an update to the Pink Dot app, in other words, it downloads all of the programs that your edition has assigned to it. And then you've also gone to the blue dot, you've logged in and it's done its synchronization and created your master key. Once you've done all that, you don't need the Wi-Fi or even cellular data. All you need is Bluetooth. So you can put your device in airplane mode, just make sure Bluetooth is on, and it will essentially operate without any outside interference. So sometimes that's a much better mode to use it in. Of course, if there is any synchronization you want to do within the Blue Dot app, you've got to have some sort of a data transfer modality, whether it be Wi-Fi or your cellular network. Okay. All right. So Jim's got some questions about the MagHealy. No, yeah. Well, Jake's got one. Right.
What's a MagHealy?
Right?
Yeah.
No.
I'm actually not using it right now. I'm running a different program, but I use it every day, and it's powerful. So it's a different experience for sure, and it opens up a whole new world, really. The types of programs that you can run and how you can run it, and the water activation, and it's just the hard part is sort of finding time throughout the day to do everything. So got to run some microcurrent programs, some coil programs, some MagHealy programs, vibration programs. So it was like a full-time job, just being able to use all the features and benefits of what we have available to us here at Healy. So.
I set a pretty diligent schedule as to what are my goals. I mean, I set some goals on the table. So in other words, if my goal is a certain fitness level, I put these goals on the table, and then I start building the modalities around that, rest, hydration, nutrition, microcurrent programs, all that kind of stuff, so that I can stay focused. So often we get pretty wrapped up in what's possible, and we lose track of what we should be doing. Right? It's like so many things. I get it. And it's pretty fun to be able to do all this stuff. But ideally, we can get pretty spread thin. So I like to stay on, write out my goals, come up with timelines to accomplish as well as work on them. Set your work hours every day. There's a pretty cool question here. Let's see. Kelly sent it to me behind the scenes. So somebody, if I just got a professional, would it automatically connect to our master key? Yeah. So your master key is assigned to your account, no matter what devices you have. The master key just gives you the access to your Healy Cloud account. It's the key to get you in, right? The secure patch. Your same master key for whatever edition you have. To activate it, you got to make sure the master key is on the smart device in which you're using it, and then essentially just log in. There'll be an update to your pink dot, and then you'll want to synchronize with your blue dot, and both will now reflect what the professional offers in the apps. Dixie, yes. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to read that question from Dixie. So,
okay. All yours.
Well, what if my Healy keeps going off when I get into the natural cycle program? So luckily with that one, you're supposed to run that particular program within that 2-hour window that we showed in the Healy app manual. If for some reason if it goes off or it does not complete, you can always sort of fully close out of that, maybe restart your phone and start it back up again, and just go back to the program that you were running there. These are only 18-minute long programs. So you could go ahead and do that as well, since you can do it manually. You can start the program manually. You don't have to go from the HealAdvisor module from there to the Pink Dot app. If you know what program you're supposed to run at what time, you can just go straight to the Pink Dot app and run that particular program.
Yeah, that's a couple ways to do it. Okay.
Okay. Got some MagHealy questions, and I have a whole list of questions that I'm kind of frequently asked questions that I know are going to come up here, as we approach the launch of MagHealy, and I'm putting all these together so we can do an extensive Healy for beginners and beyond just on the MagHealy, and kind of show the device, show the app, show the settings, show the different, the different switches on the Healy itself, how it charges, because there's no charging port on the MagHealy. It uses a wireless charging plate as well that ships with the device itself, and kind of show that, and questions about runtime, and can you run it with with the regular Healy and the MagHealy at the same time. I know Doc Steve talked a little bit about that on last week's What's Up Wednesday, but the MagHealy has its own app. So it's a separate app that just has the MagHealy programs on it. So if you were to run the MagHealy in another device at the same time, it would have to be on separate smart devices as well. But yeah, there's a whole list of questions and stuff that we want to be able to answer while we're doing our next overview on MagHealy. So it's exciting though. This is great. I don't want to call it a toy because it's so powerful, but it's fun to play around with. So.
I got a lot of some pretty fun insights to the MagHealy and its design. Of course, having 2 quantum sensors inside of it, as well as 2 Kozyrev mirrors, which is the device in which TimeWaver uses to build and hold essentially a 0-point space for clarity, again, in terms of analytics and application. And Marcus explains the way that they're oriented in there. One Kozyrev mirror is closed, in other words, holding the space inside the Healy or inside the MagHealy, and the other is an open-faced Kozyrev mirror, meaning that it's kind of incorporating the environment in terms of building a kind of a zero space, or I should say zero vector space. Which is, again, what's the purpose of all that? The purpose of all that is to essentially shield the environment for more purity in terms of analytics in delivery. It's pretty cool how that works. And I would highly recommend, if you guys want to understand what a Kozyrev mirror is, it's essentially the way that photons are accelerated beyond the speed of light and creating a space of information field, tapping right in to that information field. All right. See, Izzy says when the blue dot goes to blue screen, sometimes both lights are still flashing. Is it still running? So this is an interesting concept. Understand that the flashing lights on the Healy indicate what its action is. The Bluetooth light flashing indicates that the connection between the Healy hardware and the app is still intact. The green light flashing means that data transfer between the Healy hardware and the app is still happening. So the fact that you're getting a blue screen on the app can indicate that the CPU and the processing unit on your smart device and the way it's interfacing with the program has some malfunction with its display. In other words, it's blue screen instead of showing you the waveform. And because you still have the data transfer, green light flashing, and Bluetooth signal transfer, blue light flashing, means that you're still operating the program. You just can't see the functionality on the smart device. Now, I can't prove that that's the case, but I can guarantee you that that's what the indication is on the hardware of the Healy. So I fully predict that the blue screen solution is going to be something where the app and the interface with the CPU is improved. Okay. So yeah, if it's still flashing, it's still functioning. You just can't see it happening on the screen. No different. Let's just take an example. When you do a pink dot program. So you send the pink dot program from the app to the Healy hardware, and you see the Bluetooth light flashing, and you also see the green light flashing very rapidly. It's 2 flashes per second. That's data transfer. So then once it's loaded, it's a quick, rapid load. Once it's loaded, then what happens? The green light goes to flashing 1 time per second. right? And the Bluetooth light flashes at its typical rate. You can turn the app off, right? And what still happens? The Healy still, green light still flashes, but the Bluetooth light goes off, meaning that the Healy is still functioning in its operation of the Pink Dot app. It's just not transferring data now between the Healy hardware and the app itself. That would be the blue light flashing. But you know, the Blue Dot app is required to have a full-time connection between the hardware and the app. So the Bluetooth light never really shuts off as long as it's still in function, in operation. So that would be an indicator to you. Bluetooth lights flashing, green lights flashing, blue screen on the app, Healy still functioning, app not monitoring. Make sense? Okay. What else we got? Oh, I got like 14 comments down here. I don't know if this has been answered, but when accessing the HealAdvisor, it always says your cloud data is being synced, never gets to the advisor. I've already uninstalled it several times. And this is, you're talking about the HealAdvisor. Okay, so there's a login, something going on there. Yeah, if it's not getting past the sync function, it's not logging into your account. Why? We would need to go back and take a look if you're actually logged in.
Yeah, and I would, it mentions that the uninstalled several times. I would make sure it's not just uninstalled, but completely deleted from the phone as well, not just removed from the home screen or something like that. And then also restart the phone in between that process as well to clear out any stored data that might be left there for that particular app, just to, if you haven't tried that already, just to see if that might be a missing piece.
Yeah, when you delete an app, now remember, closing an app, just like, you know, just opening something else on top of it, the app's still running in the background. Hard closing an app, that's another different swipe function of some sort. Now look up via YouTube how to hard close an app. Deleting an app, another different function again, and what happens when you actually delete an app. So again, there's a YouTube video, I'm sure, if you just put in your device, what you have, like an Android or an iOS, that says that, hey, I want to delete this app. How do I do it? And it'll give you some demonstration. But there's also, as Jake said, shut your device off, shut your smart device off after you've deleted something. That resets a lot of the, what they call the cache memory and the allocation that the CPU has. Okay. Dixie says, can you spell that mirror thing? Kozyrev. Okay. Kozyerev. Kozyrev mirror. That's actually a scientist. That's his name. Created that. It's Nikolia A. Kozyrev, something like that. The physicist. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Kozyrev is written right there. All right. What else we got? We got about another 10 minutes. Okay. Log in where? All right. So question referring back to the HealAdvisor app. So if you've deleted the app completely, and then you've reloaded it from your app store, you go to the app store, find the app, and click on open from the app store. When it opens, it should not be connected to your account. In other words, it should be asking you to log in. All right, there's a login screen, just like the HealAdvisor Analyse app, same login screen. If it's not doing that, then it didn't actually, something's not being removed completely. So tell
Yeah,
me.
it's same login as the Analyze app, but one login for everything. So also just make sure you're typing in the same information everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. All right. Remember, guys, take a look in your back office under that tool pay, under my tools, and take a look at your resources there. As well as, you can access the owner's manual from the app itself, directly from the app. So if it's in the Pink Dot app, you go to the 3 bars at the top left of the screen. I like Freddie's description. That's called looks like a hamburger, right? So the 3 lines at the top left of the screen, click on that, scroll all the way down. At the bottom down there, you'll see that there is information. And down there is where you're going to find your owner's manual. Click on information and then scroll down. There's a manual and it'll take you right to the manual. Same things available in the blue dot. You just have to go on that little gear at the bottom right of the screen. That's where you'll find the information about the under info. Again, under info, there's a manual there. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not under info, it's under manual. It's got its own little line item. Okay, if you guys don't know what the little icons at the bottom of that screen mean, you've got the house, the heartbeat, and the gear. And the gear is your menu, your settings menu. The heartbeat is where you're going to do any of your analysis, and then the home button, or that house, is the home button where you put your clients in and stuff. Okay. All right. Is there a benefit to running your personal Healy while running the MagHealy? So absolutely. The MagHealy, and again, Marcus gave some really great information, insight. They did a study on using the Healy and then the MagHealy as like an amplifier. And he said it was like 4.3% increase in effectiveness, something like that, with the Healy by using the MagHealy as an amplifier. In other words, running something in conjunction. Think about this for a moment. When you're running a frequency from anything, and then you run a coherent or a aligned frequency from another thing, they are frequencies, so they line up and they accent, they amplify each other, right? So they're coherent signals. So that's going to amplify whatever's going on. Just like, eating a healthy diet and exercise, they amplify each other. They kind of go hand in hand. All right. Dixie says, are we going to talk about the watch at some point on our What's Up Wednesdays? So there's been a couple talks on the watch. Let's see. In fact, if you were to, let's just do this experiment, go to the Telegram page, and in the Telegram page, just at the very top, click up there under the search and just type in watch. And see what pulls up. I know that there was a training that Dennis Depot did a training for us on the watch. And so, you'll find that in there. There's recordings available. This was before the recordings were placed on a YouTube page. So I know Dennis did a training in there on the watch, which was great. So see if that pulls up for you. There's the other thing you can maybe put in there is the name Dennis and see what comes up. Yeah, there it is. There's a recording. Tech Tip Tuesday was on December 15th, 2021. All right. Well, that's that one. I don't know if that was the one. There's a recording there. Anyway, go through there and find that there was a training on that. Was there other things did Freddie do something, Jake, with the Beginners and Beyond
On the watch.
on the watch? I don't.
We didn't do a ton on the watch. I know, yeah, like as you mentioned, Dennis Depot was on one of the prior Tech Tip Tuesdays. Well, it's probably September of last year, a while ago. But yeah, that is a topic that we're gonna want to do, whether it's a live call like this or just a recorded one where we can kind of show some new features as well. But
So yeah,
yeah,
if you type in under the search, just type in Dennis, and what will come up under one of them is September 3rd, 2021. This was, let's see. It was Healy for Beginners and Beyond. There was an introduction to the watch by Dennis Depot. And so there is a recording there. I wonder if I can grab it and put it in the link here. Can you grab that one, Jake? It was September. Let me see if I can look it up here. I just typed in the word Dennis, and it came up.
Is that one on our YouTube page? I didn't think that one was, but
I don't think it is, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was before we started adding these here, but let's see.
Yeah. We'll find it for you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can place it up there. Okay, what else we got? Anything else? So Kelly, you are sending all your messages directly to me. If you want to click on everybody, you'll be able to send your, so she's saying that, I see Kelly saying that Terry Perez has something on her website on the videos under tools.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Perfect. Grab it. All right. Let's see what else we got. Man, I think we're keeping up, Jake. I like that.
Great.
I like it a lot.
Let's see.
Okay, I think I can grab that link, by the way.
So yeah, there was just a couple comments, questions here. Yeah, a watch bought 2 years ago that was never used can definitely still work. Probably some updates that need to be done, but that's definitely no issue there. And then there was a shout out to our customer care team for getting a replacement out for a Healy that had a crack on the back of it. So yeah, the Michael and the rest of the team are do excellent work, and every day we're getting better and increasing the speed and thoroughness, and trying to get a lot of happy customers out there. So.
Yeah, I think that's I remember life 2 years ago. And Healy 2 years ago was completely different, and much better in terms of what we're able to do and the response time.
Yeah, we added a happiness rating. I mentioned it on What's Up Wednesday last week that when we close a ticket now, the email that gets sent out, there's an option at the bottom where you can rate how satisfied you are with how your ticket was handled. And then if you aren't satisfied, there's a spot where you can leave feedback, so we can kind of get a better understanding of what the particular issue was. And it's interesting, a lot of the ones that aren't satisfied we're finding are due to misunderstandings with how the ticketing system works in general, not necessarily the response, so but which is good though, because it means for us we need to do a better job of explaining what to expect from the ticketing system. So
yeah, I know one of the most common misunderstandings is that you'll get a email feedback and to reply to that email feedback, but you can't, right? That's not actually how that works. So that's Yeah, it's done in the comments within the back, but there's a video on that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, there is now in our Healy Americas page on YouTube. There's a little under the Support Center Basics playlist. There's a tutorial, a little short video of how to reply to a support ticket. So
Perfect. So guys, I just placed that link to the recording from when Dennis talked about the watch in the comments there. If you guys want to copy and paste that. We're at the end of our hour. If you also want to keep the comments, because there was some cool stuff in there, under comments, there's those 3 little dots. You click on those and you can save the comments to your computer. If you're on your smart device, you can't do that. But if you're on your computer, you can save this whole chat and have all those resources for yourself. How's that sound? All right, guys. Wow. Jake, thank you so much. Michael, thank you for your lightning fingers in the background.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, if this was useful to you, invite somebody next time that's struggling out there. Let's see if we can get some more clarity in the field, right? That's what we're here for. All right, guys. Big love. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you again next week.